I'd like to open to an opportunity around loss and really consider it as a transition, a change in form, and an extraordinary opportunity to actually experience more love.
Welcome, bienvenue, bonjour to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. For women who desire to awaken their heartfelt desires, trust themselves fully, and connect with their soul's purpose through beauty. On y va. Let's go.
Hello, bonjour, and welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. This is Tara. I actually just got done recording a solo podcast, and yet it opened me up so much to creation energy that I feel like I want to do another one right now. So if you're like, hey babe, you're wearing the same shirt as you were in the other podcast, and you're in the same exact position, and I will say yes. All of that is yes. And I want to totally own that. Like the another version of me would have changed my shirt, which is funny. I used to do that all the time. Like we used to record these, like sometimes 8 episode, 9 episode challenge things, and I would change many times. Actually, if you were part of the Live You Fully challenge, I wore the same thing the entire time. Anyway, I like that vibe. I like when we feel good and we want to wear the same thing, we can wear the same thing. You don't have to change. So I'm doing a back-to-back recording. And my intention inside of this is something I've really been playing with personally. And I was just texting my husband in between the finishing of the last podcast. And I just said, babe, like, I miss you already. And I love you so much, Mr. Marino. And so my intention in sharing this podcast and what I would love to bring forward is this overflowing love that we have the opportunity to experience in this lifetime, through this lifetime, after this lifetime, the infinite love that's available to us, and the infiniteness, the timelessness of us. I know I've shared here inside the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast in the first few episodes and the loss of our firstborn son, Mason, and loss. It's really interesting that I would even use that word again, because that is something that I'm playing with. It's the awareness that love is never lost. And I've had such an extraordinary opportunity since we started the podcast to interview other women who have experienced loss. The loss of partners, the loss of husbands, the loss of brothers and sisters, the loss of children, the loss of parents. And I'd like to open to an opportunity around loss and really consider it as a transition, a change in form, and an extraordinary opportunity to actually experience more love. The love that we experience in the physical is so beautiful, isn't it? You know, the opportunity to hug our children, to feel our husbands, our partners, to make love, to celebrate and play and dance and cry, and all of the physicality that we get to experience. And what the transition of Mason's physicality has taught me is the limitlessness of love that exists when the physical body is complete in this lifetime, and at the same time, a greater intensity, appreciation, and awareness and longing for the depth of physicality we get to experience inside of this lifetime. So I will trust I'm making sense. I'd like to say it again in a different way. So this extraordinary opportunity that I have had personally, which may sound totally crazy, but I don't think so. I think if you're here in the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast, like you've been there, done that, you get the frequency that I'm talking about. The extraordinary gift that I had to lose a child. Again, lose. If you're listening on audio and you're not watching on YouTube, I like the quotes, lose. because really inside of this experience has been the stunning gift of the timelessness of love. That love is not contained in the body. That even though Mason's physical body is no longer here, the depth of his love and the depth of my own loving and the extraordinary, unlimited capacity for love has only grown. I know that he is here. I know that. I feel him. I see him. I witness him. I feel this continued opportunity to expand around love, given the gift of his presence in my life. And yet I also can feel and have experienced that fear inside of my humanness that if he's gone, quote unquote, again, right? Gone inside of the physical, that did somehow that love go with him. And I know that ache and that pain. And I think that that's actually a big part of what my miscarriage taught me when I was 41 years old. So 7 years ago, it's that I was so angry with myself for even feeling pain around the, again, quote unquote, loss of that baby, because I was really wanting a pass through the grief line. I was wanting this, given my knowledge, given my wisdom, given my experience of everything I'm saying. Like, I know that this is all happening for me. I know that I'm still connected to this soul. I know that the love that exists between me and this particular soul isn't gone. And yet the pain of not having that continued opportunity to experience that soul in the physical was heart-wrenching. So as I say these things to you, it's not to encourage any kind of spiritual bypass that says, oh yeah, okay, fine, they're gone. I know that the love still exists. Like, I'm not going to feel it and it's fine. I'm not encouraging that at all. In fact, I feel like the biggest lesson from that miscarriage was that extraordinary awareness of the exquisite opportunity to feel and be in our humanness, which really leads to the second level of impact that I feel. Again, I'm going to say loss in quotes. It's like the loss of Mason, or the transition of this physical experience, is to also surrender even more to the physical experience, to make love, to dance, to laugh, to hold people, to honor the physicality with such unencumbered joy, knowing that, one, it won't always last. Like the physical, we know, if there's any guarantee in this lifetime, we know that our physical bodies will be brought to completion at some point in time. So to honor the fuck out of them, do you know what I mean? Like, to just go all in, to utilize our bodies as a source of joy, as an opportunity for deeper understanding, not to punish them or to manipulate them or to overly emphasize the importance of them over the deep inner world, but to really recognize that our bodies do follow our minds, and we can absolutely utilize them as a point of pleasure and celebration and honoring inside of the physical. So yeah, this is maybe going to be a super, super short podcast, but I feel this to be something that's gorgeous for us to explore together. And I see that I'm losing a little bit of the light here. And I'm going to go for it. It's getting a little bit dark on my end. But yeah. How's that feel inside? I'd love to hear from you and how this conversation is moving you or touching you inside. and how you experience your own physicality, how you experience the idea that love is timeless and that it's never lost, and how you integrate the experience that we all have in life of those that we love moving into different spaces of life, and how you may have integrated that to support you in living even more fully. So I'd love to hear some comments from you. I think this could be a really beautiful conversation. I love you, and I'm so grateful to be with you inside of this physical space, and let's honor it.
Hello, bonjour. I'm coming in here at the end of this episode, which I hope you loved, that really short, gorgeous episode on deepening love and shifting from that idea of loss. And I wanted to come in here at the tail end here to share with you, because by the time this episode drops, it is going to be the very first day of Le Club. And I wanted to share a little bit here, the intention for the club, the why, the what, the how, all of those beautiful things in case you are being called into this level of conversation in your life. So let's start with the intention. The intention for Le Club is the restoration of the feminine. It's a true behind the scenes journey of walking with me for 40 weeks as I reveal chapter by chapter of my book. So private group on the inside before this book is available to the public. And as I've been writing this book for over 9 years now, the amount of growth, tenderness, emotion, power, if you've ever written a book, you know how cathartic it really, really is. So as I'm birthing this into the world, there's so much extraordinary emotion. And yet, as I reflect on it now, there's also a readiness. And so inside of the club, it is going to be a private membership area where over the course, as I said, for 40 weeks, we're going to do a chapter reveal a week in a really beautiful, powerful way. In addition to that, there are going to be integration modules released every week as well to support you to uniquely, to personally integrate, to reflect, and to remember your wholeness. So inside of this space, it's really extraordinary because if you have ever taken any programs with Elegant Femme before, typically a program, a journey, an experience like this is in the thousands. And I wanted to do something really special for the club. So the investment for the club is $333. So for 40 weeks, all the modules, it's so good. It's so, so good. And above and beyond any of that, really the place with which to honor the decision inside is really, are you being called at this point in your life to remember that value of the feminine? Are you being called to embody without guilt, without apology, without any kind of force or push, the essence of the feminine in your life? Are you being called to let go of any kind of judgment, any kind of againstness around the feminine or the masculine for that matter, and come into a place of such wisdom, such remembering, such potency in your power that you truly are the embodiment of what you came here to experience, to share, and to love on in the world. So if those types of things resonate with you, I'm going to encourage you to check this out. So again, we start today with our welcome call, and then one chapter a week will be revealed. Here's the beautiful thing about Le Club as well. I'm keeping the enrollment open until our 40th week. So if you happen to hear this later than when we launched and we're already on week 5 or 10, no worries. You're never too late. You're never too far behind. We don't go there. It's all perfect. It's all divine timing. We have a tendency as women to go into this all or nothing mentality. So the biggest thing is to feel in for yourself. Does it have resonance? Is there something inside of you that's a yes? If so, I would love, love, love to have you join us. Again, you're going to be receiving all of the chapters in an exquisite way before it's available to the public. You will also receive a signed book from me once it's out and a whole bunch of other surprises, because that's just how we do things here. So in addition to the feminine restoration, what I will share with you about the club is potentially the most powerful integration of the fem types that I've ever experienced in writing the book. And the intention is that essence, that potency, and that simplicity, like we talked about last week on the podcast, is available for you as well. So if you'd like to join us, elegantfemme.com/le club. And of course, we'll put that in the show notes as well. I hope you have a gorgeous, gorgeous Frenchy Friday, a beautiful weekend, and I'd love to see you inside of Le Club. Thank you so much. Merci for listening to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. I would love if this message served you, that you support it and share it with other women who might benefit from really having their lives in balance with their fem types. And if you can leave a comment, do a review. I love reading every single one of them. And I would adore if you could take a snapshot of yourself wherever you listen to this episode and post it on social media. My Instagram is elegantfemme1, and I'd love to see you, share you, and just celebrate with you as you are moving into creating, experiencing, and claiming your own beautiful soul-led life.